Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of
Bible Battles.
You didn't say it.
Bully me.
Bullying you.
Bible bullies?
Yeah, Bible bullies.
Oh, Ethan's still a little saucy about not getting some right.
Last time, though, he did get them right.
I think
It's
so.
just the pain from this entire series.
You just need to...
You need to study more and come up with the right
learn more.
answers.
Right?
If you had the right answers, you would know the answer.
Nah, you guys just get them all wrong.
Well, this is what we're doing. We're discussing our favorite books of the Bible, and we're doing it tournament style. So books are coming head to head, and then we're kind of forced to choose which books do we like better than another. And it's really tough to do, but it is forcing us to read the Bible and figure out what these books are about. And so it's been a fun, if somewhat painful experience for some of us. So
Don't take my words.
So we're glad that you joined us. We hope that you'll like this video, maybe subscribe to our channel so you can know whenever these videos are posted. We try to get them out every Sunday night, maybe every other Sunday night. We're a little busy these days and it's hard to get our schedules all working together, but glad we can have you here with us as we talk about some more favorite books in the Bible. And here we have our next battle coming up. We have the book of Revelation, which is a very famous book. Scary for some, but it's a book that Adventists really tend to love. It's a book that we almost feel like we own, and we just let people borrow it every now and then. So Revelation is coming up against an Old Testament book of Haggai, which is, after Obadiah, the second shortest book of the Old Testament.
One of my favorites.
One of Jeanette's favorites. She
Because it's short.
does like the short books. She does like the short books. So these two books
Cut my nose.
are coming head to head. Ethan's throwing his mouse on the floor. So let's talk about them. What do we like? What are our thoughts about Haggai and Revelation?
Well, Revelation should be thrown out.
Revelation, because it's Revelation.
You don't even like Revelation? We don't even talk
No,
about it?
it's
or
kind of
what?
like Amazing Grace. It's just... you shouldn't.
Well, obviously we're not throwing it out this time, Jeanette.
All right.
That is a great book. It's a fabulous book written during a time of persecution. Written not only for the people that it was sent to, those 7 churches originally, but also for people down through time, and gives us insight as to what God is doing all the way along. We see prophecies unfolding from John's day all the way till the end, and then it kind of goes over that time frame over and over and over again. Some amazing things in Revelation, some confusing things in Revelation, but the key to it all is that it's the revelation of who?
John.
Hmm?
No,
It
God.
was given to John.
He was given to John.
But it's the revelation of Jesus
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
And that's what it's supposed to do. And the most important symbol is the Lamb in Revelation. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to pick Revelation. Not that there's anything wrong with Haggai. That's a great book revealing to us consequences of obedience and disobedience. Excellent book. But for me, Revelation is one of those books I studied when I was becoming a Christian. So that's my pick.
Okay. Haggai is good, but compared to Revelation, it doesn't really compare that well.
Okay? And Jeanette, your thoughts on both these books?
Both of them.
It's a tie. Somehow Jeanette has a tie.
I really like doing these Bible battles because it is forcing me to read books that I really haven't paid a lot of attention to before.
Mm-hmm.
And Haggai had so much packed into such a short span.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wrote more than the entire book of Haggai.
Don't look at my notes.
It's hard not to.
So it reminds me that, it's automatic for a lot of us to rely on God when we're kind of in the valleys. And this book is reminding us that no, we need to make sure that when we're at the top of the mountain, that we are also not neglecting God's work, because
Right.
He works with us all the time, not just in the valleys.
That's very true.
And so that, and it reminded me that a lot of times we get busy, whether it's doing Bible battles or doing anything of the Lord's work, but sometimes we're not listening to really what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then it reminded me too that with tithes and offerings and being faithful to God, doesn't make life necessarily easy and it's not going to give me $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
but it reminds me that our good is rewarded. Whereas if we don't give, whether it's to money or time, then we feel like we work a lot harder to get a lot smaller of a. So I really like Haggai, and I really wish it didn't come up against Revelation, because you can
say
read.
you're talking about Haggai a lot. I'm pretty sure you can't pick Haggai and still come to church.
Jeanette's dismembered.
Dismembered.
Disfellowshipped, sorry.
People are going to wonder, what type of church are they a part of? Oh, my.
Sorry, we don't dismember anybody. We disfellowship.
And even that in only extreme situations. But yes, we may have to take away your Adventist card if you shoot down Revelation. What is your pick, though?
I have to pick Revelation because
Okay.
every single time I can pick out something new.
All right.
And I don't want to be disfellowshipped or dismembered.
Ethan, you were right.
Yay!
You got one right. Okay.
I just did it to make you feel good.
Yeah, probably understandable.
Let's go to our next round here. We have 2 New Testament books that are coming head to head. And this one was tough. I thought I knew what I was going to pick, and now tonight I'm maybe changing my mind. We have 2 Timothy going up against the book of Colossians, both written by Paul, but for different reasons, and both excellent books. 2 Timothy is one that Paul wrote at the very end of his life. Some scholars think it's maybe his last book that he wrote, his last letter that came out. So 2 Timothy is an amazing book, and some great counsel in there that Paul gives. Colossians, he wrote to this church that was dealing with heresy. They were dealing with folks who were struggling with their idea about salvation and their walk with God. Was it just going to be Christ and Christ alone, or was it Christ? And we got to add some things here. We're going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we'll borrow from this and borrow from that, and we'll have everything covered. And Paul says, no. He says, when you add to Christ, you are subtracting from him. Mm-hmm. And so 2 great books. What are our thoughts on 2 Timothy and Colossians?
This is notes.
I have to take notes. I've been ready to do this for like a month. No.
And it still takes you so long to decide.
I know. I like 2 Timothy just because it kind of goes through and tells us what the meaning of being a follower of Christ is. Mm-hmm. But Colossians, I really liked that book because it talks about making us fit, removing hostility, and all these things. But when you really look at the wording, it's Jesus that removed all these things. I didn't do anything. Yeah. Jesus did it. The only thing I did was accept him working in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I have to go with Colossians.
Okay. Colossians has a wonderful hymn in chapter 1 all about Jesus and who he is and that he is all we need. Beautiful hymn. It's so much great theology in chapter 1 of that. So that's an excellent part, and that's what was making me originally go with Colossians. And I think I knew that book better. But I think tonight I'm actually going to pick 2 Timothy. And let me tell you why. 2 Timothy, it's Paul's last book. And it's not just that he's like, oh, I'm tired of writing. No, he knows that his time on earth is about over. He's almost done. And so what are the purposes of writing to Timothy? Really kind of twofold. One, Paul's lonely. He's missing people. Before, when he was imprisoned, he was just kind of in a house and he could still minister to people. But now they kind of lost track of him. They didn't know where he was at. And he's really alone. And so he's reaching out to fellow believers. And that just really brought a human side of Paul to it, more than just the evangelist who does amazing stuff for God.
But Paul is human.
Yes, yeah,
Jesus is not.
True.
And you love Paul more than Jesus.
I don't. I'm just thinking about it from a pastor's point of view, where he's lonely and he's asking for help, and 2, he's worried about the churches that he had helped build up, and so he's encouraging Timothy to keep strong and to confront false teachers and to make sure to keep pointing people to Jesus, which is what Paul did his whole life. And so even though going into this, and if we would have recorded this a few weeks ago, like we had tried,
You
I
guys
probably would have
messed
picked
me up.
Colossians, but tonight I think I'm going to pick Timothy just because of those aspects. So you
I
get to be the
think-
tiebreaker. You can't be wrong.
I
tonight.
know. I think.
You can be wrong.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Will I be dismembered?
I'm never gonna live this down.
No, you are not.
Probably not.
I think this is the first night that I
Who
will
buys
probably...
you Chex Mix?
I'm actually the one who did that today.
Yeah, 2 Timothy.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay, but why?
Because, yeah, the same reason you had.
Mhm.
We took out 1 Timothy first. I think I voted for 1 Timothy there. I have to
I
have
know
one of the
I
Timothy.
did.
So one of the Timothys is making it through.
One of the Timothys is making it through. I think 2 Timothy is probably... Both of them are good books for me, but I enjoy reading 2 Timothy a little bit more.
That is excellent counsel there, both of them. It's really hard to choose, and tomorrow I might actually agree with Jeanette. Who knows?
But
So
at least for today, I'm right.
today you got 'em. You got your 2 for 2.
I know.
This is wild.
Wow.
This is wild, and I don't think this next one's going to be too hard. We go immediately
Yeah.
into the second round, and these 2 winners are now going head to head, and we
3 in a
have
row!
Revelation coming up against
3 in a row.
2 Timothy.
I can be right 3 times in a row.
Well, let's
If you
see.
guys don't brutally murder this.
So who are you picking?
Revelation.
He's going with
No
Revelation.
dismemberment for you.
Yes.
And Jeanette, on this one for you?
You didn't pick 2 Timothy, so it should be pretty obvious that you're picking Revelation.
I'm picking Revelation. There's so much in there. It should be like 10 books.
It really should be.
There's a lot going on in Revelation, and it's an exciting book. There's so many wild things going on. There are beasts, there are symbols upon symbols, but the most important part is it's about Jesus. And it shows how God deals with sin. Ultimately, God is working, moving things to the end where sin will be no more. So it's an excellent book, and that's my pick as well. I think Revelation will go far, and at least goes into the next round. And we'll find out.
I just looked at the next 4 books,
The
and
next
they ain't
4
looking
books.
too good.
Is going to be interesting. We're going to have some fun stuff to talk about. We have First Chronicles coming up against Genesis. We finally get Genesis showing up.
In the
this,
middle.
This late in the game,
Yeah,
Genesis
but I
is coming
don't
up.
like how Genesis is on track to...
We'll
Be
we'll
against
vote
sin.
it out right away. We'll go with First Chronicles.
We'll see what happens. So we have those 2 books going up against each other, Genesis and First Chronicles, and then we have Amos going up against Philippians. So Old versus New Testament there. That's what we'll be talking about next time. Did we get these ones right today?
You better have.
No.
If you want to leave a comment and let us know if you agree with Jeanette on Colossians or 2 Timothy, let us know how we did. And take a look at these books. If you haven't read them for a while, read them and talk to your family, your friends. Even if you can't see them, call them up, do a Zoom meeting with them, talk with folks, tell them your thoughts about these books. Let's keep reading the Bible. Let's stay in God's Word. And folks, let's stay safe out there. It's still wild. I thought,
Don't get dismembered.
yes, don't get dismembered, don't get sick, and take care of each other. Thank you for joining us for Bible Battles. We'll see you again soon.